going on there, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think there has been a pretty big concern with the vehicles within Battlefield 6 ever since the beta. Of course, I think a lot of us knew it's a beta, so we're not going to have access to everything. It's going to be pretty bare minimum. But, I think people loaded into it expecting a tad bit more customization for the tanks and, other vehicles that you get to go ahead and mess around with. And it was basically nothing. It even boiled down to a lot of people saying that it felt like the ground war experience within Call of Duty because, it just kind of was hop into a tank and go out and kind of destroy stuff without much customization behind the scenes. But boy, oh boy, we got some more leaks from Battlefield 6 Labs, which is absolutely hilarious because, my goodness, I do not think there has been one singular play test from the lab session that has not been leaked out to the overall public. I gotta know what you guys think down in the comment section, man. Seriously, let me know. Do you think that EA is intentionally letting this stuff out there? They're doing it themselves? Or do you think that it is just down to, maybe they aren't strict. Maybe it's good publicity, so they're, not really worrying about taking this stuff out. I don't know. Regardless, we got to see a lot of stuff with the vehicles, guys. And I think all of you are going to be pleased with what I have to go ahead and showcase. But ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I do want to showcase to you guys another post by Fair here, saying every Battlefield 6 squad the first 5 weeks after release. I don't know. I just got a good chuckle out of this one because it's the truth, man. For those who don't know, within Battlefield 2042, there is a free battle pass going on right now that has a lot of Battlefield 6 exclusive cosmetics. So if you grind out Battlefield 2042, you will be getting stuff that's going to transfer into Battlefield 6. And basically, this is one of the skins right here, the OG classic Battlefield 4 engineer skin. I just thought it was really funny because it's the truth. Everybody's going to go ahead and equip that bad boy. And if you guys haven't seen the numbers, 2042 has been popping off recently just because of that battle pass alone. So there's plenty of players going ahead and trying to unlock it. So, we'll see when, launch comes on through, but I am actually going to put my bet in right now that over half of the lobbies are going to be filled with those skins. We're not going to see too much variety for maybe even like a month down the road until more, customization starts coming on through. But, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the actual topic of today's video. This is by Cowslaw over on the Reddit page saying Battlefield 6 in-game vehicle customization. Now, of course, I personally am not going to be showcasing all of the leaks on this video. You guys already know how I roll over here. I don't want to, take any chances with, EA striking down this video, although it seems like they're very lenient. Don't want to take the chances. So I'm not going to showcase it, but I will leave a link to this overall post down in the description of this video so you guys can go down and you can see it with your own eyes and, see what there is to offer. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of summarize everything up in here. And guys, like I said, it is looking absolutely outstanding. I know a lot of people were worried that there's going to be absolutely no customization when it comes to what you can use on your tank. And I'm not talking about like the look of the tank itself. I'm talking about the weaponry. But every single category is just filled to the max when it comes to customization for the overall vehicles within this game. And we didn't even get to see the air vehicle so far. Nobody has, put out any footage. Maybe later in the day, someone might have. If you guys have seen it, leave it down in the comment section so other people can check it out. But for the time being, we're only seeing the tanks, and it is looking outstanding. The variety is looking out of this world, and the combinations you will be able to go ahead and put together is going to be perfect. I think that's what kind of threw people away, you know what I'm saying, when they first witnessed it within the beta. Is, again, there was no customization, so you had a one-set tank. You hop in that bad boy, and you use what you got, the primary, the secondary, and that's it. It felt a little too basic. But from what I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are going to be able to do whatever you please. And from the looks of it, you will also be able to save presets for your tank loadouts, which is absolutely amazing news. Meaning that, if you want to have an infantry style, focused tank, you could do so. You want a heavy armor style tank, you could do so. And then you can save these presets on the side. So when you're ready to hop into this tank and you need to do it quickly, you don't want to lose the opportunity of getting this vehicle, you can have your presets good to go, lined up, and depending on the situation that you're in, maybe there's not a lot of armor on the enemy team. Your team, the engineers are putting in a lot of work, taking them out, so maybe you don't got to worry about tanks that much. Maybe you can have an infantry style tank, or maybe there's more armor than actual people, so let's get a heavy armor tank. So on and so forth. Those presets will be available for you at all times. And also from the footage here that I really like to see, you can actually have a little moment of time when you spawn into the overall game to customize the tank. And I really like this because, in all of Battlefield history, it's always a race to get some of these vehicles with a lot of people. And it kind of sucks because in certain matches, you just won't be able to pick a tank. You just won't be able to go ahead and pick an air vehicle. Because every time that you're ready to load on in, you want to customize, you want to get things ready, you want to, kind of prep for what you're about to get yourself into. That's the fun of Battlefield, right? Vehicles have always been a staple of the franchise. But, if you're not quick enough with going ahead and editing your stuff, it's going to be taken from you in a blink of an eye. But within Battlefield 6, you are able to go ahead and spawn into the overall match with the vehicle of your choice. Or if you see the vehicle, on a flag, because on some of the flags, they just spawn there. If you hop in, you'll also have a window of opportunity to go ahead and actually edit what you have on your class here. So no longer will you have to, be worried about not being able to pick the right tank that you want because, if you wait too long, then you won't be able to pick it. Someone else is going to take it. So you just end up taking whatever is given to you and you can't really use what you want, None of that noise. You can actually dig deep and make sure the class that you want is exactly what you want at a good rate. You don't have to sit there for 2 years to cut. No. You get the presets. You can actually load into the game itself. You can still edit. They're doing a lot of things here to make it easier on the overall player base, and I like that. Overall, the customization is looking phenomenal, at least for the tanks. And I'm assuming if the tanks are looking this good, the air vehicles are probably just as juicy. But, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say, seriously, this is why I always preach that patience is key, especially for a game like this. We had no clue what was in store for the full launch of the game, right? We knew that we were in beta. We knew that a ton of the features were not going to be present within the game. And there were still so many players out there that jumped the gun and just said the game is going to be garbage. No, don't get me wrong, it's not everybody out there. You can even see on this channel, there's tons of people who are willing to be patient, and I'm so happy about that, seriously, because as I always say, that's what I always preach for, and it's great to see a lot of other like-minded individuals out there who do have that patience to wait and see how things unfold. But there are still a lot of individuals who just were, jumping the gun. The game plays too much like COD. There's absolutely no customization for the vehicles. There's no customizations for, infantry and players. There's absolutely no larger maps within this game. We have nothing but a bunch of small maps, and that means the rest of the game is going to be small maps. And as the leaks continuously keep on pushing out here, all of those points continuously get proved wrong. No big maps. I saw plenty of big maps. Some of them might be a little bit more, structure focused with a lot of buildings. But there's still others that I've been seeing, like Badlands, for example, that are massive, almost vehicle-focused environments, Same thing with, like, Maroc Valley. It's just, I feel like DICE is changing their mentality on how they handle some of these much larger maps. Yeah, we might see one that is strictly tank-focused sometime down the road where it's nothing but open terrain. But a lot of these larger maps have a lot of ways for infantry to navigate, which is why I'm so stupidly excited to give them a shot, because that's exactly what, me, myself, and a lot of you guys online have been begging for ages. It's nothing wrong with big maps. You just have to be able to have them to a point where, both players can benefit, whether you want to play infantry or if you want to be a vehicle player. And it seems like that is their, mentality moving forward with Battlefield 6. And as I stated, nobody wanted to believe we'll see anything bigger. They thought it was going to be, a bunch of maps the size of Empire State, and they're not. We are going to have so much variety come launch, and way more variety coming within Season 1. So the point being made here is patience is key. Everybody thought the vehicles were going to be trash within Battlefield 6. Probably some of the worst of vehicles known to mankind because of the lack of customization within the beta. But then again, it was a beta. And current date, we're seeing the lab session that's going on right now, and the customization is out of this world. So yes, I understand the concerns of a lot of players out there, but all I'm saying is that patience is indeed key when it comes to Battlefield here. Wait until the full launch to truly critique and, see what your opinion will be of the overall product. Because we only got a little taste of what Battlefield 6 has to offer. And as time continuously goes on, it proves that, again, map sizes, customization for vehicles, even the communication between developers and community has been doing nothing but getting better and better and better. So I want to see what launch looks like and going onward with post-launch support. And if DICE can really nail this down, seriously, this will be probably one of the biggest comebacks in AAA development history of a team just crumbling, going down rock bottom, and being able to bring everything on back. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And we also double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arco Raiders, Gears of War, pretty much any shooter that really sparks my interest, I go ahead and discuss on this channel. So, subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do go ahead and stream over on Twitch Monday through Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys are interested in any of that content, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.